Alright, I'm trying to hold it together, but I just want to scream right now. It's been so hard finding my footing right now. I feel very alone and isolated for whatever reason. I spend so much time by myself with my thoughts, and I don't know. I'm not scared to be by myself. It's just, I think I've gotten so used to it that I don't even try to, well, I can't really do anything at the moment. Like I said, I'm gonna make like an in-depth video talking about my budget. I just don't have the time yet. I also just want to say, I finally spoke with my current supervisor about my job. They got back to me about it today, and basically they said they would increase my pay like $1 more an hour. And she's like, we looked over your thing, and you've been very reliable. Like I said, I've only ever called out from a session one time, and that was when my car broke down. Otherwise, I've not missed a single day of work. Other than like that one day. And so I really have not been like a horrible employee the way some of y'all assume I am because of what I mentioned. When I've talked about, me leaving jobs, some of y'all assume like I was bad at the job, and that was not the case. I wasn't bad at the actual job. It was more like I had mentally checked out of, the job. Now, I will say with Amazon, I wasn't bad at my job. I actually had gotten a compliment from my supervisor because there was a specific day where I basically had 0 errors. And if you know anything about like Amazon, if you've ever worked in a warehouse, that's really hard to do, and it's really rare to do. So basically, I was in the ICQA department, which you're doing like internal counts of inventory essentially, and you have to count every single item in any given package. Like basically everything in the Amazon warehouses, you have work with this device. So anyways, I'd had a day where I had counted well over close to probably 3,000 items. You're expected to do an average of like 300 items an hour and 10-hour shifts. So I'd counted, I think, closer to 5,000, and he said I had 0 errors my entire shift. And I think the day that I did it was a day where I was like, it was back when I was just, in such a, one at the time, I was really focused on my relationship with God, and I was just, had been like worshiping and was thankful that morning. I do think we were allowed to listen to like music on the job. So I can't remember. I used to probably just spend my days work listening to worship music or something. But I just remember that particular day I was like very like focused on just, what's that book in the Bible? Commit your work to the Lord and your plans will succeed. I don't know. I was just having a particularly like good not even in a good mood. I was just felt at peace at that day, and it was crazy that that was the day I had zero errors. But anyways, throughout my time there, I was good at my job. Like I was never like um not able to keep up. Even when I worked in like a big bulky facility, I used to move pallets on one of those machines, so it's like crazy. I'm actually, I can't remember the name it's called, but I was certified to drive the machines and move pallets around the warehouse. Like the random skills I have because of the jobs I've had is honestly kind of funny. Um, or it's very, well mixed. But anyways, my time at Amazon was one of the hardest times for me because I was so like unsatisfied with the work. Like you do the exact same thing every single day. And I was just like, I can't do this for the rest of my life. Like, yeah, with making stable income, I was so miserable though. Um, and I remember I was talking with this woman, and I'm like, the thing is, there's people who can do your same job and absolutely love it. Like, I remember talking with this girl, and she was like, yeah, I love this job. I could see myself doing this for like the rest of my life. She used to be an EMT, and I remember she had told me stories about like just like the horrible things she went through as an EMT and how people were so mean and nasty to her when she was like literally trying to save their lives. And it's just like crazy how, EMTs get so abused by the people they're trying to help on like a daily basis. So anyways, and I'm sure it's the same with like nurses and people who work in hospital rooms. They probably deal with some of the rudest, nastiest people. But anyways, I remember her like we were doing the same thing, and she absolutely loved her job. I was like, "You love working here?" She's like, "Yeah, I love it." And I was just like, "I want to work a job where I have like love what I'm doing, you know?" And I don't think like it's wrong to seek a job that you love and you're passionate about, or even just it's something you enjoy doing. I feel like if you enjoy the work that you do, you never work a day in your life. I think even if you find something that you don't love, if it's something that you are good at and you can make a lot of money from because you're skilled at that craft, that's another good reason. And I think for me, you know, I feel like for a long time I thought that was like doing hair, makeup, but I don't enjoy doing hair. I also don't think I'm great at at doing hair. And with makeup, I just never really was confident in my makeup abilities. Um I'm not as passionate about doing makeup as I was. But I don't think like I feel like I'm not confident in a lot of my skills or in myself in general. So, I mean, I've gotten lots of compliments for my customer service. I would say from most of my customer service jobs, I got the most recognition in those areas. Um, I don't know. I don't really know what my exact skills set is. what I'm good at. I'm good at spending money. I'm good at talking sometimes. Anyways, I don't remember why I started filming this video. I've just been having a weird day. I don't know what like changed for like last week. Like last week I feel like I ended on such a high, and then like this day just started, my Monday just started so horrendously. I've been struggling going to bed on time, or going to bed early. Like it's currently 10:37, and I definitely need to be in bed soon. I don't know, y'all. Someone just joined my Patreon. Shout out to Tanya. I don't want to say all her like her full name, but I got a notification that someone joined my Patreon, which I was honestly, I made a Patreon because I wanted to be able to still share some of the videos I posted, even though I knew I was taking a break from posting, because I have pre-filmed a lot of videos. There's a lot of videos I made even prior that I was just like, I'm not comfortable sharing this on my YouTube right now. So I made the Patreon as a way for people who wanted to support to still have access to those videos. But also I just didn't want to, there's people who are watching my videos who are just watching it for entertainment or for, I don't know. Again, I can't really say for sure what people's intentions are, but I wanted people who supported me to still have access to those videos. And I don't know, it does feel like I don't want people to think like you have to pay to access my stuff, because it's not really, for me, it's not necessarily about like, oh, I'm just trying to make money off of this. It's more just like I wanted a way to limit people who are not gonna want to, I don't know. It's basically just like I wanted to limit the amount of people who watch my videos. And I was like, most people on my channel probably would not pay to watch my videos. So I knew the people who were willing to spend money to watch my videos would be people who probably actually supported me, versus someone who's just, watching. So I guess in a sense of the word, it's kind of just like I wanted to limit the number of people watching my videos without like being it. But at the end of the day, I know I will probably make videos again in the future. I just don't know for how long. I honestly just wanted to like erase a lot of my, like, I wanted to just erase the my digital footprint, honestly, in a sense. Like, I don't know. I think I'm just not ready to share a lot of things right now. I just want to focus on getting my life getting my life together, and it's like I want to share. There's things I want to share, but I'm like, I don't feel comfortable sharing them right now. So, and it's hard because I'm so used to, just filming and sharing things. I mean, I'd rather have like, it's like that's why it's easier for people to make just like the lighthearted content that's not like super raw or authentic, or you know doesn't require vulnerability. And so, making like my little skincare videos, makeup videos, get ready with me videos, content like that is more like, you know it's not as personable. I mean, it can be, but I don't know. I just feel like being private at this point in my life, and so I did what I felt was necessary to have privacy but still share with people who do still want to support me. But I don't know. Like I said, I feel very alone right now, which sucks. Um I guess I am really alone, kind of. And I don't mean I feel alone because I'm like don't have a relationship or something like that. I just feel like I don't have any like really close friends at the moment, or friends that I like hang out with on like a daily basis. And the friends I was hanging out with, I feel like they're not the friends who I want to spend, or I shouldn't even say that. I would just say like they have different desires than I do. Like they want to drink, they want to go out, and I don't want to do those things. Um it's the same thing like when I force myself to go to church, I always feel alone. Like I don't know. I know I've watched videos of people talk about, sometimes your walk or your path or your journey requires you to just be alone sometimes. And I guess I have like my sisters. I'm not going to sit here and say like I don't have friends. I just don't have like close friends right now where I live, and part of it is because, I haven't been putting as much time into friendships. I think one of my coworkers right now, she's someone that I talk to a lot more frequently. Um, like I'm not saying I don't have friends. I just don't have like my closest friends. They all live out of Georgia, or just not near me, or we kind of have grown apart a little bit. So I haven't really had time to catch up. And um, the other thing is, I don't know. I feel very like lost in the sauce type of thing. Like I'm just trying to get by, I guess, and get through each day. I don't really have like a set plan, and I think that's another thing that maybe holds me back sometimes. Like I want to get my community service finished with by the end of this month, which I should be able to do as long as I do at least 15 hours each week, which I was supposed to go today. had a meltdown and ended up not going. So we need to go the rest of this week. I haven't really heard anything back from the job offer I got. I'm nervous that I'm not going to be offered because of the DUI arrest that's now on my record, even though the charge was reduced. It's just like that might impact negatively to employers, which sucks. So that's the other, I guess, maybe stressful part about this is I have to like worry about like what my record looks like to potential employers, which I know it's like a traffic violation at the end of the day, which I know doesn't carry the same weight as, criminal, I guess, but it's still just not something I want to have on my record. So I'm like nervous about that. Like, are they gonna resend my offer? Because that's the reason I can't do Uber at all anymore. They basically deactivated my account just because of the arrest, even though it was reduced. And you know so I haven't really tried to even, I could appeal it, but I don't think there's a it's pointless in my opinion. I can still do Instacart though. I thought I wasn't going to be able to do Instacart because of it, but I still actually can. So I'm grateful for that. Um that's also the other reason like I don't want to quit my current job, because um I still have, now I have security, or not security, but I still have, a history with my current job. So I'd rather try to do both before I quit. But y'all, I really don't know what the future holds. I feel like every day I'm just like, I don't know what's happening next. I just know I need to be making more money if I want to be able to get out of debt. And so I feel like I've kind of been stressed because I'm like, I don't know when that's gonna start. Like I'm finally getting more hours starting next week, and I have like another job that pays a little bit better that I'm supposed to be starting. So I'm like, those are two things that I'm kind of hoping will help, but I guess until it happens, I'm just like not sure how it's all gonna work out. And I'm still at the present time like not able to afford my my bills, because my last two paychecks, which means I've had a month of paychecks where I made less than 700, actually less than $650 from my last two paychecks combined. So it's not a good place to be in financially at all. And also last week I only had 8 hours of work, which is even significantly less than, I just think like it seems like even when I'm trying to get my guaranteed, like I accepted the part-time thinking, okay, I'll have at least 15 hours each week guaranteed, but I've been getting not even that. And I think my manager knows that, because my offer says I was guaranteed 15 hours, and they haven't been following that contract, that they could be held liable for that, which I haven't really, like, I also think too, like, I haven't been like rude or mean about like a lot of the issues I've had with my job. I've just asked, I've just made my concerns known, but I haven't been like rude about it. I've, like I said, trying to stay positive about everything. I just feel like there's still so much uncertainty with everything. So I feel like until it's like starts happening, I don't know. I don't want to get my hopes up. And I just like, I need to be making decent money soon, or I'm gonna be like get too far behind on my bills. I just want to be able to like pay down my debt significantly before I like, I don't know. Well, I guess that's one way to end my video. But I owe, currently, my credit card debt is close to $6,000, and that's not including like payment plans like Affirm or Klarna. So probably including all of those is probably closer to 8,000. So I just like, I have a lot of bills I have to pay off. And I think that's gonna keep me motivated to not spend money, I hope. I feel like I still find myself wanting to shop a lot. I just know like I can't really afford to do it. And again, shopping addiction is not something you I think, I don't know. It's not even like I'm trying to justify it. It's just like people, it's almost like people don't recognize it as a real addiction, I feel like. And so when people see me like continuing to spend money, they're like, why don't you just stop? Why don't you just stop? I'm like, it's not an addiction. An addiction is not something that you choose for yourself. It's like you feel like you have this need for that thing, and then you hyper fixate on it, and then it's like you have to have it, and then you'll do anything to get that thing. It's not just, like, it wouldn't be an addiction if you could stop at any time. However, I'm trying to, I don't know. I guess I'm not trying hard enough, according to some people. People keep saying like I need to stop. I need to stop saying people, because it's really one person who said this, that called me a hypocrite. And I'm not a hypocrite because I what am I trying to say? Basically, she's saying my actions are hypocritical because I keep saying have like I have a stressful financial situation but continue to spend money. And I feel like it's not a hypocritical, it's really like you're not recognizing the I don't know. Honestly, I need to stop giving attention to comments like that. Like, the only reason I get criticized for shopping is really because of the things that I shared. But, you know, like I said, as long as I rehone my focuses to just, I don't even know. I don't know. If I knew how to stop shopping, I guess I would have stopped already. If I knew the best way to make it go away, I don't know if talking about it is really helping, or if talking about it is just like, I don't know, enabling me. I don't know. I just know that my day-to-day life is not me trying to um like, I'm just living my life. I'm not like trying to hurt people or take away from someone, or I don't know. um I don't know what I'm trying to say, y'all. I just feel like some people are making it seem like I'm committing a crime because I spend money on things that I don't need. I don't know. Maybe the hypocrisy is like people thinking like, you know, because I know I don't need to be spending money but still spend money, and that's hypocritical. But I don't think it's hypocritical because I've already said, like, you know, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like people have place expectations on you that you never put on yourself. You see, I'm not mad at myself when I spend money, but I guess people watching my videos are, or they want me to be mad at myself, and I don't have the same reaction. I don't have the same, I guess, view that people want me to have. And I think part of it is like, I've tried to explain why, but it's just like, I don't think people understand. If I feel like for me, if I already know I'm not gonna have enough to spend to pay something that I need to pay, instead of stressing myself out about it, I'm gonna, one, let it go, not worry about it, and just, I guess, do whatever makes me happy that day. And I get the reason why people would be upset about it. I just don't think like my situation's going to change um or I guess maybe I don't see my situation being made worse by the money I spend. Like, if I spend $30 and I know I owe $8,000, is the $30 I spend the reason I can't pay off my 8,000? I guess yes and no, because people are saying, well, you could have put that 30 towards your 8,000, but I'm seeing it as like, well, that $30 was all the money I had at the time, and I'd rather spend it towards something that I enjoy now than put it towards something that I don't feel. What's the best way to put it? It's just like, I don't see the $30 as being the change, as making a change to the 8,000, and maybe that's the mentality I need to have, but that's not the mentality I've had towards my debt. I don't see the $30 I spend as being like the reason I'm not able to pay off my credit cards, because I feel like the $30 payment I make is not enough to like make a it doesn't make a significant change enough for me. Like, I would say, and maybe that's just like not a healthy mentality to have. Maybe that's the other part I need to work on, is not looking at the small things I purchase as the a reason. And I think that's also why, like, you have to, I mean, obviously I'm not good at my finances, or I wouldn't be in my situation that I'm in right now. So I know I have a lot to learn. I think, though, I've never viewed my I don't view I never viewed like the small things I purchase as the reason I can't pay the big bills. I've always said, well, my income, if I if my income does not is not enough to cover all of my minimum payments, I kind of just am like, basically screw it. I'm just gonna get what I want and enjoy what I have while I have it, because I'm not going to be able to pay this anyways. So that's maybe not a good mentality. But that's honestly kind of how I feel a lot, because it's just like when you have such a huge, I guess, debt to income ratio, it sometimes does feel impossible. And it's like easier to just, instead of stressing about it, you kind of just say, you know what, I'm just gonna enjoy my money how I want to, because what difference does it make, almost? Which, again, I feel like in the long run it does make a difference, but you kind of don't see the long run because your current situation seems so impossible. And I think for me, I've been discouraged because of the expectations that I would be making a lot more money, um, not being met. And like, I want to be able to pay 500 towards a bill, but how am I supposed to do that when I don't even have 500 in my account? And I'm just like, okay, well, I have to make sure that I have just my necessities. And it's like, even putting like savings and putting money in my savings is like a waste of time at this point, because I already owe, like, I always owe a bill. I'm always owing a bill. And you do get discouraged, and you give up on trying, honestly, because it doesn't feel like it's going to make a difference. So like, for instance, I know I have payments that are more than the amount of money I have in my account. So it's like, I already know I can't pay this bill, so what do I stress myself out about trying to figure out how to pay a bill I already can't pay? Or do I say, you know what, we're just gonna have to wait till our next paycheck to pay it and deal with the consequences? And I always basically choose the second one. Like, I'm not gonna focus on a problem that I don't have a solution for presently. But I guess it would be better if, instead of being discouraged because I can't make the whole payment, I made a partial payment, and in good faith, and said, you know what, I can't pay that full amount, but I'm going to make a partial. I'm going to pay what I can pay until I can pay that remaining. So I do think, like, I need to change my attitude around my finances, and around, just like giving up because I can't pay like the minimum. Pay what you can afford to pay, instead of just giving up altogether. So I definitely need to improve my attitude in that area. Um, and also just, not not have like such wastefulness. I think the other part of it too is like I want to be able to have the things I want. Like I don't want to feel like I can't have something. And I think that's honestly what kind of enables a lot of my spending. Bad spending habits is if like I want something bad enough, I will figure out a way to get it even if it's, not a smart way. So having discipline, being more disciplined would mean, not going out to eat even if you really want to, not, getting a coffee even if you want to. And what you guys don't see is like I make a lot of coffee at home now. I used to always go to Dunkin' or Starbucks anytime I wanted coffee. So now I do make coffee at home instead of purchasing it to save money. But every once in a while, I will go out and buy coffee somewhere as like a treat. So I don't look at like, I feel like some people are quick to look at things I do wrong or call out things I should stop doing. But I used to eat out almost every single day, especially when I was doing DoorDash. I would eat out frequently. So even like cutting out eating out down to like once or twice a week is a major improvement for me. I do think though that if I don't eat out, I end up spending a lot more in groceries. So like I probably spent in the past week like 100 on groceries. So I don't know if that's more than I usually spend. Can't remember. It might have been more than that. I think I've spent over 100 on groceries in the past week or so. So, it's just like unlearning bad habits that I have is it's hard to change like bad habits that you created, but I also feel like I haven't been motivated to really follow the things because I felt so discouraged by the amount of money I'm making, which is just, that has more to do with my attitude than anything. Like, I don't have an attitude of, you know what, we should pay what we can. Instead, I kind of just want to just give up and say, if I can't make the minimum payment, what's the point of even trying type thing. The same thing when it comes to like putting money in my savings. I'm like, if I can't pay this bill, I might as well just buy this thing I want, which is also not smart. So there's a lot of, like I said, I make a lot of bad financial decisions, and I'm not getting on here saying I don't, or have lived like a perfect, or have never made a financial. Sorry guys, my iPad is not meant to be propped on this thing. But anyways, I'm not sitting here acting like I've never made a financial mistake in my life. Like, I've made plenty of poor choices with my finances, including credit card debt. And it's addicting. I also think that's the other part. Part of my shopping addiction is like, it's addicting using those payment plans to buy things. And there's also like credit is addicting as well. So I think it's like, it's not even just a credit shopping problem. It's like a credit card addiction too. Like, if I can pay for something I get a rush paying on a credit card because I don't have to see that money come out my account, and it makes me feel like I can buy whatever I want without. It's just like, credit cards are so bad. but they're also addicting. Same with like the payment plans or the paying for things that I've used for a lot of my purchases. It's like I honestly prefer shopping because I can use those payment plans, and they're designed to make you spend more money than you would typically spend. So I do think like these payment plans are designed to get you addicted. You know, I can spend up to, $200 and only have to pay $50 up front. So now I'm like, okay, well, I have $50. I don't have 200. And so you're like, well, I can spend $50 and get $200 worth of stuff. You feel like you're getting this deal, but you forget that you have to pay back the other $150. And so you're thinking, I'm only spending 50, but you're actually spending 200. So honestly, I want to get to a point where I just don't. I just think I need to get rid of my credit cards altogether and have like the mindset, if I can't pay for this in full, then I can't afford it. And I feel like that would lower my shopping, a lot of my shopping habits, because honestly, I don't like paying full price for things. Like, if I have to pay for something in full, I probably won't buy it. And so I do think like I need to get rid of like Klarna and Sezzle and ZipPay and Affirm. All of these like split payment apps, they're very addictive, and they definitely are kryptonite for people who have shopping addictions. Wait, is kryptonite the right word? Well, yeah, that gets you in trouble. Basically, having access to those things will like put a shopping addict like in a worse place, because now they're like, they can have access to more money without spending it all. So I just feel like I get on here and be honest, and then people use that against me as if I'm not admitting to struggling with this thing. I'm not like gloating about it. I'm just literally sharing, this is what it's like having a shopping addiction. This is what it's like, you know, feeling like, and you do get a serotonin boost from buying things at the same time too. Like, you get a little bit of rush, a little boost. And I also think like that is why it's so easy when you're having a stressed day or when you're having a bad day. For me, going out getting food, going shopping is that instant boost of dopamine, serotonin, whatever, to boost my mood. And that's where the addiction part comes in, because I'm self-soothing through shopping and eating out and, things that aren't really helping me in the long run. So that's really all I try to explain in my videos. And yes, I am working on it. Just because I've still shopped or I've still filmed haul videos doesn't mean I stop viewing it as a problem. I think it's just like, for me, I've made improvements from, where I was 6 months ago. Now, what scares me right now is that I don't want to start making more money and then start spending more money. And that's why I'm like kind of scared that when I do start making more money, I want to make sure I'm prioritizing paying off my debt, because I just want to accomplish that this year. And also just like, how amazing will it be when I'm finally debt free? And I think like I just want to keep it that way. Now, I have gotten out of debt before and then got myself back into debt. So it's kind of just like I would say my mom helped me before, and then I got back in debt. And that is kind of like, honestly, something that happens to a lot of shopping addicts. You get to the point where you have so much debt and you're drowning in it. You get yourself out, and then you're like, wait, I have all this money, I can spend again. And so you get yourself right back in the place you just got out of. So that's kind of me. I'm not gonna say, I don't think honestly, I might be in more debt than I was initially, because I got myself in a lot of credit card debt when I was 18, actually 17 in college, because I used to have very good credit. My credit now is horrendous. And that's the other thing too. I'm like, my credit score, I kind of stopped caring about my credit score too. Anyways, I've made a lot of poor financial decisions. Yes, I know this. I'm not denying it. I'm not sitting here pretending like I've never made a bad choice with my finances in my life. I think you learn things, but sometimes you learn things the hard way. And am learning the hard way somewhat. Honestly, I'm not super stressed about it. Like, I could be, but it's just like, I'm so used to owing people money, it doesn't even bother me anymore. It's like, I will pay it off, want to pay it off, and that's my goal, but I can't do that until my finances, I have to be making enough money to make a dent in it. But I also just have, like, I don't know, my mentality right now is not the best. So we'll see what happens at the end of this month, because like I said, I don't really have a concrete, I don't have like a certainty when it comes to like my current job or other jobs. Once I do start making more money, though, I just want to make sure I put, you know, as much towards my debt as I can, as much toward my savings as I can, and learn to live below my means until I can actually pay off my debt, and just that I will have more discipline with myself. And I do think like it's easier to be disciplined when you have money, and that's another part of it that people don't understand. Like, you naturally are more or I shouldn't even say naturally, but when you have more money, when I know that when I have more money, I make better financial decisions, especially because I'm like, well, I want to make sure I keep my account this way. So I don't know, I do think like part of having more money but then having bills is the sucky thing. But I think like a lot of people are bad in their finances. It's not just like me. I'm not the only one who struggles with bills or with credit card debt or with anything like that. I'm just honest about it, and that's why people like to come on my page or my channel sometimes and try to criticize and judge me for literally just sharing my personal struggles. Which again, if I've already admitted to having a problem, why are you trying to use that against me? I've already said I had a problem. Anyways, I guess that's all I'm gonna say for now. Toodles.